Hello again, Year 4, and welcome to our first remote learning maths lesson. This is actually my fourth attempt at uploading this video, so I've taught this 3 times already, so fourth time lucky. Maths will be a bit trickier because, as we know, talking partners are very useful. We always use those in our maths lessons, and adult assistants, we know, resources. Those physical, concrete resources really help us with our learning. So we'll just try our best. Pause the video, rewind it if you need any more explaining to listen to it again. There are some other videos that I direct you towards, so make sure you're listening to those and trying your best to understand it that way. We have looked at rounding, but when you completed your Pumas, applying it to word problems was something we struggled with a little bit. So we're just going to spend the next 2 days revisiting our rounding. Your starter today, because we don't have next steps, is actually going to be to play 5 games on studio mode on TT Rockstars. So you can freeze this video and go and practice your times table, see if you can improve your score. Okay, hopefully you finished your TT Rockstars games now. Quick vocabulary check. Can you think about what these terms mean? Can you maybe create your own question with these terms in them? On the next slide, I'm going to explain what they are. So difference between is all about subtraction. It's where we find the difference between values. So, for example, the difference between 9 and 7 is 2. The difference between 11 footballs and 21 footballs, 10 footballs. We do 21 take away 11. Opposite of that, the contrasting operation is addition. And a term for addition is sum or sum of. And all that means is plus. If I asked you for the sum of 8 and 2, all that means is 8 plus 2, so it's 10. The sum of 5 and 15 would be 20, and so on. Moving on to multiplication, same sort of scenario, but product. So the product is when you times numbers together, it's the answer of that. So the product of 6 and 5 is 30, because it's 6 times 5. The product of 3 and 4 is 12, because it's 3 times 4. Okay? Have a look at the YouTube video here. This is the rounding rap. We enjoyed learning this in class. I'm sure your parents and carers at home are going to love listening to it and maybe even joining in. Make sure you pause it at each step. It isn't specific to rounding to 10, but my slides are. So use that knowledge and pause my slides, and hopefully you'll gain confidence in rounding to the nearest 10. Okay, so hopefully you've listened to that just a couple of times and not too many times that it's driving everyone in the house up the wall. Step 1, we need to circle the digit in the tens column. So in 47, I've got 4 tens and 7 ones. I need to circle my 4. I can't do that, so I've changed it to red. In a 3-digit number, I've obviously got my hundreds column, my tens column, and my ones column. So I've got 1, 10. Okay, so that's what I've highlighted in your circle. Moving on. Step 2, the column to the right, that digit I need to underline. So 7 ones, 2 ones, 5 ones, and so on. This is a really important step because this is going to give us the information on whether to round up or round down. If the digit is below 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we need to round down. What that means is the digit in my tens column stays the same and my ones changes to a 0. For example, if I was rounding 23 to the nearest 10, my 3 is less than 5, so I need to keep my 2 tens the same and put my placeholder 0 in. Have a look at the same thing there for a 3-digit number. You might want to pause the screen. If that digit that you've underlined is 5 or more in value, so 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, that's when we need to change the digit in our tens column. We will increase it by 1. For example, if I'm rounding 39 to the nearest 10, because my underlying digit 9 is of greater value in the ones column than a 5, we need to push our 3 tens up to 4 tens, and we still put our placeholder in. So 39 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40. It's closer to 40 than it is to 30. You can practice this by having a race with someone at home. If you both started at 39 and counted as quickly as you can, who would get to 40 or who would get to 30 first? 39 is right next to 40. That game might help you understand why we round to different tens. Have a look at the 3-digit one again and pause the screen to help you. The only time this sort of changes is when I've got a 9 in my tens column. Have a read over this and see if you can explain to yourself what that actually means. In essence, it means that I can't change a 9 for a 10. We know that in place value. So I then have to go to my hundreds, and I need to increase my hundreds digit by 1. So if I'm rounding 397 to the nearest 10, my 300s are actually going to become 400s, and my placeholders will go in. These are 2 questions that you'll find on a Challenge X. Here are your questions. Give them a go. Rewind the videos. Re-listen to the rounding wrap. If you need to keep flicking back to the different steps, they will help you answer this question. Step 1, circle the tens. Step 2, underline the digit in the ones. Is it less than 5? Okay, round down. Is it 5 or more? Okay, let's round it up. Your answers will be on the next slide. Good luck. Try your hardest. Okay, here are your answers. So pause this screen to check over. Hopefully you've managed to get at least a few correct. If you haven't, instead of moving on to the next slides, maybe ask someone at home to give you a few more questions so you can practice again. Think about where you went wrong. Did you forget to put the placeholder 0 in? Did you accidentally round up instead of rounding down? The next slides consist of 2 reasoning questions and your Challenge X. Okay, so if you've got time, let's push on to these questions now. I will go over the answers at the start of tomorrow's lesson. For the Challenge X question, you will need to do some reasoning. Explain why the other numbers don't work. Okay, the first 2 questions, you can just show your calculations. So there's question 1. Question 2 says round each number to its nearest 10. I've got 5 numbers to round and only 3 multiples of 10. So you can draw more than one line to 40, 50, and 60 if that's where it rounds to. And finally, your Challenge X. And this is your real mastery, your real reasoning one. Good luck. Any questions, please email and I'll support in any way I can. I look forward to now recording our science video, which is going to be a practical experiment that you're going to do at home with ice lollies or ice cubes. So you have that to look forward to. Bye, guys.